Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Labour Conference 2025, or I should rather say, Keir Starmer's personal nightmare. The Prime Minister, once hailed as Labour's saviour, now drags his landslide victory like a ball and chain. Polls are collapsing. Labour, of course, are sat at a pathetic 17%, and Reform have soared up to about 33, 35, depends on the poll you're looking at. Starmer is terrified. He's cornered by rebels within and Farage's shadow without. This isn't a conference, it's more like a funeral of his leadership. It's safe to say we've got Labour on the run, lads. Although they tried to keep a calm, calculated, and patriotic demeanour throughout the conference, there were many mishaps, to say the least. We'll start with the internal party divisions. Andy Burnham publicly accused Keir Starmer of fostering a climate of fear within Labour, criticising the leadership as narrow and shallow, and highlighting suspended MPs for dissent. That man's outgunning for Starmer's position. Come hell or high water, I think he's going to make a run. We'll see whether he's successful, although only time will tell. Then, of course, there was suppression of media access. So, for instance, they revoked multiple journalists' access due to them wanting to ask tough questions, such as on the events in Gaza. And there was also the obsession, it would seem, with Reform and other rival parties. The conference fixated on smearing Nigel and Reform as racist and divisive. Except the funny thing is, they really couldn't bring themselves to say that Nigel and Reform voters were racists. They kept trying to cover it up by saying, oh well, it's the policy, bro, the policy's racist. But then it's like, well, if this is the will of the people, then you have to enact it. And what I found hilarious is, of course, David Lammy, being the gem in politics that he is, he comes out and says that Nigel was part of the Hitler Youth movement. Of course, not realizing that Nigel was born over a decade later than when the Hitler Youth movement had collapsed. What's also hilarious is Labour kept trying to promote the notion of patriotism throughout this entire ordeal. They had people waving the flags. Funnily enough, they didn't have the Palestine flag, they didn't have the Pride flag, the Troons flag, all of the flags that the lefties love to go out and brandish. Instead, no, they were actually there with the Union Jack and the St. George's Cross, which I was honestly kind of shocked by, but at the same time, it makes sense for posturing. They're trying to come across as the patriotic party, except no one's going to buy it, I'm afraid, Keir. He's an utter buffoon if he thinks the people are that stupid that they'll buy into this hack. Moreover, what's even funnier is that throughout this conference, when Starmer was giving his speech, essentially, he was saying, look, things are going really well. Oh, but we're struggling here, and a massive part of the population is very discontent with our rule at the moment. But we need to take them on board, we need to win them over with our vision for Britain. The problem is, what Starmer doesn't understand is that people hate his vision of Britain. It stinks. This multicultural globalist project has failed. It is just going down the shitter and it needs to stop. Of course, Labour, though, and Starmer, being ideologues, will not stop. They will keep going and going and going. They're trying to push the plan further and, simply put, more of this crap that we're already experiencing from the Labour Party, and especially come the budget in November when they're releasing it at the latest possible point in the year, I'll have you know. People are going to rebel. They're going to get fed up and tired, and they will do it with their votes, and they will do it with their voices, and they will be out protesting and marching in the streets, and there is nothing that Starmer and the Labour Party can do about it. Unless they want to arrest all of us, but that's a lot. Gammonzilla, Haggiszilla, and Dragonzilla are on the rise. Labour are going to get trounced in the next election by Reform, and I hope they do. They deserve an absolute spanking like the Conservatives received last election. Of course, that meant we got the Labour Party, which kinda stinks, but at the same time, the Tories will manage to decline, Labour's just accelerating the process, and I sit on the side of we should accelerate these things when we can. It makes sense. Get through the rough patch quickly so that you can start to rebuild. The other thing that really rubbed me up the wrong way about this conference was the fact that Starmer kept going on with his propaganda that anyone can be English. It's utter bullshit. No, you can't. English is an ethnicity, Starmer. It isn't something that you can simply hand someone a piece of paper for and say, oh yes, you're now English. I mean, what other sane country on the planet does that? The answer, none. We are the morons, we are the mugs, and we are trying to essentially commit suicide on a national level under Labour's governance. And it is time for all of this crap to stop. And that's why he's terrified. The people know. The people are feeling angry. The mood has shifted. The overtone window has moved over to the right. Or as Starmer would like to call it, the racist far right, but he can't because he can't alienate the voters. He's done. He's finished. I personally wouldn't be surprised if we at least see Starmer gone by the end of 2025. It could happen easily. All we need is Andy Burnham to run. Of course, Burnham is going to be crap too, but he'll be crap for a bunch of different reasons, and he may be more of a challenge to reform, to be fair, as he is known as the King of the North, except of course that's not the reference, because in Game of Thrones it's King in the North. They've called him King of the North because they're stupid, but nonetheless, he would give Nigel more of a run for his money for the one reason that Northerners have Northern loyalty. And that runs deep, that runs thick, but please, I beg you, any Northerners watching my video, if you get the chance in the next election and it's a vote between Burnham and Farage, please go for Farage. Labour are still going to be the backstabbing, two-faced bastards that they've always been, along with the Conservatives. I mean, if you're going to vote Tories in the next election, please get your mind checked. I'm surprised they're even sat on 15% in the polls. That was another funny one. The fact that Starmer tried to rub it in the face of the Tories that they're on 15%. It's like, I'm sorry, bro. You're on 17. You're 2 points ahead. That is not a big margin. Tories could potentially, if Labour keeps screwing up, have more voters than them, which is insane. So I don't really know where the left-wing votes are going to go, to be honest, because you've either got the Greens, the Lib Dems will probably get more seats, the Greens will get a few more, and then you've got Hezbollah, which might get a couple seats. Who knows? They're in utter shambles at the moment, but we will have to wait and see. Either way, the Labour Party conference was an utter farce. And these people need to realise that they need to get with the programme or they need to get out. Simple as. And on that note, I would like to say thank you so much to all the far-right racist bigots for watching this video, because that's what Starmer thinks you are. I know you're just normal people trying to work your lives, trying to feed your families, and trying to make something better for yourselves. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my mini rant, kind of less substance and facts in this video today, but I'm also had to kind of get on here, express my opinions, and say how much I think Labour are terrified and Starmer is screwed. Either way, folks, have a good one. God bless the United Kingdom, and stay safe out there.